Even if you hadn't destroyed those shipments, I'm sure the tribunal would have stopped the plague before it reached Mournhall.
Oh,
Hi.
it's you. Come to tussle with the ne'er-do-wells of the Telvanni Peninsula? Actually, I could use a distraction. This is for official business. You should remember how compensation works.
What would I be a distraction for?
The punishment of Luafan Romavel. She convinced those Kamonatong scoundrels to take Argonian soldiers hostage and force the Ebonheart Pact to pay a large sum for their release. I'm here to ensure that her plan fails, and she never hatches another.
What do you want me to do?
You're a distraction and a secondary measure. We cannot let either Luafan or the soldiers remain in their current positions. Free the soldiers and do something to draw out Luafan. Sound an alarm, make noise, but leave the kill to me.
Alright, I'll go freeze some Argonians and let you kill Luafan the Romavel.
With you providing a distraction, this writ just got significantly easier. Kimona Rune is just ahead. Are you ready to see what traitorous cretins like Luafan Romavel and the Kimona Tong can do?
Tell me more about Luafan.
Well, aren't you demanding?
Yeah.
She's an enterprising member of the Kimona Tong, a group of dark elf lowlifes. They believe in a lot of nonsense. The competitiveness of their smuggling prices, dark elf superiority, the security of Kimona Rune.
If the Kimona Tong is keeping the soldiers hostage, why does your writ focus on one dark elf?
It was her idea to capture the soldiers and threaten the entire Ebonheart Pact. Of course, she's the one I've been contracted to kill.
How does this threaten the Ebonheart Pact?
Think about it. How would you react if one of your allies held your soldiers hostage? That's why I incorporated releasing the prisoners into my plan. Is it a little more work? Yes. But in this instance, it's worth the effort.
And what is this place?
You mean you don't know? Why come out here then? Very well. It's a smuggler's den of the usual unsavory dreck. Are you familiar with the Kimona Tong?
No.
They're criminals who hold on to archaic ideals. It's no coincidence they devised a plan to capture Argonians. Dark elves have a sordid history with certain races, and the Kimona Tong find pride where others see vile history.
So they're xenophobic.
Quick to the draw, aren't you? They have foolishly short memories if they think the old ways were best.
Well, do you know where they're keeping the soldiers?
All I've been able to gather is that the prisoners are separated and probably in different buildings around Kimona Rune. They may even be guarded. Try to make as much noise as possible. You are creating a diversion, after all.
I didn't expect to see you here, Asher.
Surprised, are you? Do you expect to find me in random places? I'm flattered, truly. Or were you looking for me? It would be your turn to play the messenger.
Oh, what happened after Hakoshe?
Last I heard, Magnate Fena Darak was still in charge of that little town. I suppose she figured out how to lead without relying on her family's lie. If more people were like her, then I'd have less work.
What is Khemar Throne?
You mean you don't know? Why come out here then?
Yes.
And you shouldn't be surprised that they took Argonians captive. Captives aside, I expected this writ a while ago. It feels almost like the great houses were waiting for an excuse to send one of us here to Kimona Rune.
Do you know where they're keeping the soldiers?
All I've been able to gather is that the prisoners are separated and probably in different buildings around Kimona Rune. They may even be guarded. Try to make as much noise as possible. You are creating a diversion, after all.
Expect to see
Surprised,
you.
are you?
How things in Balmar?
I do what I can to avoid stepping into Vardenfell these days. That business with Vea really mucked things up. Not that I had anything to do with that. Have you since met up with Nayu?
Nope, haven't seen her. Well, we did, but no, we haven't.
I have evidence to suggest that Nayu's in the area. I received a strongly worded note by way of some smitten fool warning me to stay out of one particular city at a certain time.
How do you know the notes from Naru?
I've studied her movements and manners enough to be familiar with her handwriting. And we collaborated on a few writs, you remember?
Do you know what she's working on?
Of course. But I'm not about to tell you. If you find her, it'll be without my betraying the Morag Tong. Her work is protected by secrecy. I'm refraining from shadowing her and studying her methods.
Maybe more.
Well, aren't you demanding? She's an enterprising member of the Kamona Tong, a group of dark elf. It was her idea to think about it. How would you... Surprised, are you?
Nope, I don't have a message for you.
Ah, both here of our own volition. Good. I'd hate to have someone else's whims meddling in this affair. I suppose, since we are catching up, have you had more dealings with Nayu, or are you here for yet another of your heroic deeds? Remember, you're my distraction. Make a commotion in there.
Sure thing. Me and Ember destroying shit. Burning it all down. Distraction time! Corporal Voice of Thunder.
These smooth-skinned fools will regret capturing me.
Bet they weren't expecting that.
Corporal Gelthu? Gelthu?
These dung beetles insulted me for the last time. Tied up with trolls?
I need a drink.
This way.
Let me go.
Sergeant Gamals?
I thought I'd be tied up there for ages.
Where is that Swit? Doesn't she know how inconvenient this is? Where is it? Oh, there. That gong. Ring it. She has to come see why it sounded. Ring it, and I'll introduce Luafan to my blades.
Intruders? What's going on here?
Oh, and back
Finally.
problem solved.
I'll meet you outside. Free the prisoners if you haven't already.
Last time?
Outsiders? Creature? Attack! I didn't mean me!
Bend ring. Giovanni Peninsula. Here we go.
Captured by a dark elf, then freed by one. Do you think I'm just going to ignore the...
I don't care what you do, as long as you don't mention my part in it.
I wasn't expecting you to be the ones to rescue us. My claws were just starting to wear through my bonds. Still, you... All claws and scales intact. Fresh air and real light. That's what's needed now.
That dark elf's arrogance is a scythe on my good mood. Still, we are free now.
Yep.
I don't know how that sergeant knew about my involvement. I hoped having you free them would rid me of this inconvenience. Still, despite this unfortunate turn of events, I ended Luafen, and you followed directions well.
Well, I thought you needed me to free them because of distraction.
Why can't both be true? I told you what you needed to know, but yes, I hoped the soldiers would know only your face. Still, I promised you a reward. Take it. We should part ways before we attract any more unwanted attention.
Sure.
Now, it's
Fair
off
act.
to Necrom for me. Don't be offended, but I hope I don't see you there. Not for a writ, anyway.
What are you doing? What are you going to do in Necrom?
You know which organization I belong to and what I do for them. Surely the answer to your question is obvious. I don't know
No.
the specifics yet, but I'll find more details once I'm there.
Well, I don't know. You could have been visiting ancestors, right? Doing something other than killing people once in a while. What about the Argonian soldiers?
Now, why in oblivion are you worried about them? They're soldiers. They know how to fend for themselves and how to find their commanders. I'm sure they'll be fine.
Why did you ask them not to mention your involvement?
We did our part and freed them from the Commander Tong's grasp. The root of the problem has been solved. If they talk about either of us, then this nuisance may become a much larger mess. And as of right now, it's a mess that I do not have to clean.
Asher does not clean up the messes. Got it.
We'll set off as soon as the feeling returns to our legs. Not sure what we'll say about our absence. Gamal's is the one who has to make the report. Feel bad for her.
Corporal?
The faster we head back to the others, the faster we're away from this place. It makes my scales itch worse than bog mites.
What are you going back to?
Decisions to make. We were taken against the pact, but ruffians and vagabonds never care for treaties. I have much to think on.
What do you know? Do you know what you'll say?
I must either lie about our whereabouts and say that we were lost, or tell the truth and become embroiled in potential political machinations. Neither is appealing.
How'd you get captured?
We weren't captured. We were kidnapped. Those dry scales came into our camp, stamped out our fire, and brought us here under the cover of night. They're cowards. They planned to ransom us. I'm not surprised an assassin was sent to deal with them.
Did you know Aster was coming?
So that's the assassin's name.
Oh, shit.
No, we had no idea anyone was sent. But I knew those thugs' plan would attract the Pact leader's anger. I'm sure some of the great houses know what happened here, but Asher asked me not to include it in my report.
Why would he do that?
You'd have to ask him that. I'll have plenty of time to think about his request. Those dry scales may have kept us bound, but no one ties our tongues against our will. Whatever my report, it'll be what we want, not what Asher decrees.
Well, it'll be interesting to see how that plays out. Sorry, Asher.